of the conflict in Gaza. The international community's grave concern over the ongoing humanitarian situation has only deepened. The staggering number of casualties, with over 25,000 Palestinians killed and thousands more missing, predominantly women and children, underscores the critical need for an immediate ceasefire. The substantial damage to civilian objects, including homes, hospitals, schools, and UN facilities, is alarming. With the majority of Gaza's 2.2 million population displaced, facing acute shortages of food, water, and basic necessities, the situation is desperately dire. Vietnam once again condemns all indiscriminate attacks against civilians and essential infrastructure. These actions contravene international law, particularly international humanitarian law, and undermine the relevant UN resolutions. The role of the Security Council in addressing this multidimensional crisis is crucial, yet its response has been insufficient to halt the worsening calamity. The resolutions adopted to date have not effectively stemmed the tide of destructions and suffering. We therefore urge the Council to redouble its efforts. Protecting innocent civilians, including ensuring the safe release of hostages, must remain a top priority. The provision of rapid, safe, and unimpeded humanitarian assistance is essential to mitigate the risk of further fatality from violence, disease, and malnutrition. The ongoing intense fighting, particularly near Khan Yunis and the Nasser Hospital, highlights the urgent needs for the UN and the international community to facilitate the movement of humanitarian aid. The severe situation in northern Gaza, where people are enduring desperate shortages of basic supplies, amplifies the urgency of our collective actions. Furthermore, the conflict's escalation has exacerbated tensions in the broader region. In the West Bank, the situation has deteriorated, with hundreds of Palestinians killed, thousands arrested, and many barred from accessing Jerusalem. In the meantime, recent incidents in the Red Sea have heightened global concerns, particularly over the safety and freedom of navigation, besides implications for the sovereignty of the affected nations. These developments, along with the ongoing tensions across the Middle East, underscore the critical need for restraint and diplomatic engagement, including here at the Security Council. Finally, I take this opportunity to reiterate Vietnam's steadfast support for the two-state solution with the establishment of an independent state of Palestine based on the pre-1967 borders, with East Jerusalem as its capital, and coexisting in peace with the State of Israel, in accordance with the relevant resolutions of the United Nations. We believe this vision continues to be the cornerstone of a long-term and sustainable peace in this region. I thank you.
Je remercie le représentant du Vietnam de son intervention. Je donne maintenant la parole au représentant de l'Australie.
Monsieur le Président, je vous remercie. Australia has chosen to intervene during this debate because we see this as a critical time as fighting continues and humanitarian suffering worsens in Israel and the occupied Palestinian territories. This criticality was underscored by the visit of the Australian Foreign Minister, Penny Wong, to the region last week. Action is needed now. Australia unequivocally condemns the Hamas attack on Israel. These were abhorrent acts of terror against innocent civilians. We call for the immediate and unconditional release of all hostages. As Foreign Minister Wong stressed again last week, Israel has the right to defend itself. However, the way it does so matters. All parties must respect international humanitarian law and protect civilian lives and infrastructure. Australia repeats its urgent call for safe and unimpeded humanitarian access. We want to see further humanitarian pauses to enable the scaled-up delivery of aid, safe passage for civilians, and the release of hostages. Australia wants to see a sustainable ceasefire, and we see humanitarian pauses as an as important steps on the pathway to that goal. No ceasefire can be one-sided, and no ceasefire can be unconditional. Any solution in Gaza must not involve the forcible displacement of the Palestinian people, nor the use of Gaza as a platform for terrorism. Australia urges all parties to prevent regional escalation and work towards containing the conflict. We express our deep concern at the dangerous actions of regional actors seeking to take advantage of the situation. We unreservedly condemn Houthi attacks in the Red Sea. These attacks constitute a threat to navigational rights and freedoms, international commerce and maritime security. Australia remains committed to upholding the rules-based order on the high seas and the central principle of freedom of navigation. Practical steps are urgently needed to find an enduring solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It remains Australia's view that achieving long-term peace and security for Israel in its region requires the establishment of an independent Palestinian state. And we stress the importance of efforts to restart a political process which leads to a future Palestinian state. We reiterate our commitment to working towards a just and enduring peace that enables Israelis and Palestinians to live side by side in security within internationally recognized borders. Thank you.
Je remercie le représentant de l'Australie pour son intervention. Il reste un certain nombre d'orateurs inscrits sur ma liste pour la présente séance. Si les membres du Conseil sont d'accord, je propose de suspendre la séance jusqu'à demain 15h. La séance reprend donc demain à 15h. La séance est suspendue.